This episode is brought to you by Midwestnightwatchers, found everywhere on your favorite podcast platforms.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Veil, special edition on a Tuesday. Can you believe that? We're on a Tuesday.
Surprise.
So I hope you guys have had a great couple of days since you've seen us last on Sunday, which is our normal scheduled time. But we're having new people come on, and we have people scheduled out all the way to March now. So we're opening up new days once in a while for people to come on a little earlier and not have to wait till April. March, February, March and April. And
right.
So we have a couple Tuesdays and maybe a Thursday planned. So stay tuned, and you never know when we'll pop on.
And our normal Wednesday nights.
Yes, late. And the Night Owl Lounge on Wednesday nights.
Night Owl Lounge.
Yeah, that's our hangout time where we get to talk with everybody and chat, and we started the new I don't know what you want to call it, but
new segment.
A new segment that is actually a column from our local or regional newspaper that Jane's great uncle did, called Wind in the Straw, and there's some UFO and paranormal articles in there, so we'll be reading you those, and those are from the 1950s and the 1960s.
I'm looking forward to that. My goodness.
We got a lot of people popping in already.
Yes, the jet's flying. Well, as we go through the list, I see Dragonfly, Denise, Gary, and Val. Thank you so much for being here and modding. I know Blazer's here. He's going to mod. Jason. We have Arthur. Camelia. Let's see. Demaria. Sober. Hey, hi, Sober Carper. Bud Files. And CD. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Wizard Moon. Yep, Wizard Moon snuck in way in the back.
Yeah, there was people in early.
All right, well, welcome in, everyone. I'm glad you showed up and got the notification that we are live. I just saw Feisty Kitty, didn't I?
Yeah, Feisty Kitty's in. Kitty. Bud Files.
There's Catherine and Ida. Hi, guys.
We got Gary. Did you say Gary?
Yes, Gary.
Blazer. And
so I'm glad you guys got Denise. The notification, since we normally are not on Tuesdays.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This is going to be fun. We have a new guest that we haven't had previously, and a lot of times we get the same people that want to come back and they have new stories. Well, this is a first time for us. We have an author and a medium, and she is just a fantastic person. And I found her videos online. I think it was TikTok. I think it was possibly TikTok, where she was showing orbs in her bedroom and talking to them, and they were responding to her. So I'll let her tell the story. I don't want to get too into it, but it was just fantastic. And so I can't wait to start talking to her. So what else do you want to talk about, Jane, before we bring her up?
Let's bring her up and get the show going. I know our chat really is interested in orbs and
Yeah, we like
this type of
the
subject.
paranormal and the woo, and especially orbs and rods and all that kind of stuff. And we even get people to talk about cryptids and Bigfoot and Dogman, and we just cover the whole range from Tartaria to UFOs and aliens. It's quite a mixed bag, actually.
Welcome in, Tammy and Decipher. All right, so
without further ado, let's bring our guest up, and we'll get this show going. Hi, Susan.
hi, welcome.
Hello there.
Oh, we're so glad to have you. Like I was telling our audience or our people that's going to watch this later, that I just happened to find you on your video that you posted, and I was just intrigued because we catch videos of orbs and stuff too. So I was really interested in talking to you about that.
Wonderful. I'm excited to share it with your audience.
So hopefully, as we get talking and stuff, maybe we can share. I don't if you want to share one of your videos or some pictures or something. Sure. We can do that also.
You bet.
But I really like to dig into I guess let's just start by you can explain your mediumship and your involvement in all this and what you do. Kind of self-promote yourself a little bit at the beginning, then we'll get into the orbs and stuff.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Yeah, so I'm a farm girl. I grew up in Minnesota, and I've had abilities for a great part of my life, at least as far as back as I can remember. However, growing up, this wasn't talked about. There was never shows about it. We didn't read about it, so I didn't know that that's what was happening with me. It wasn't until I got in my 20s, and the premonitions, which ended up increasing, and some would be like really benign and others would be pretty monumental. And so that's where I started to do some research into figuring out, these deja vu I've had my whole life were actually real premonitions. Hence why sometimes as a child I would get sick. I'd like dry heave just because the energy, the moment would be so intense when it would actually come to fruition. It wasn't until our first daughter passed away that I started to dig into it a bit more. I wanted to know what was happening. I was raised Catholic, I'll die Catholic, but I still had a whole lot of questions about what had happened, why, where did she go, all those kind of things. And so it kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of research and investigation and reading as much as I could, watching videos, watching shows, that kind of thing,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was raised a Baptist and never quite understood everything that they were preaching to us. And then as I grew up and became a young adult, I started going more towards this Bible-based churches or sermons. And, then they started talking about stuff that like Jesus would do or the disciples and stuff. It's like, man, that sounds an awful like spiritual and spirits and the woo stuff, paranormal actually, walking through walls. And so that kind of led me, like you said, led me down a rabbit hole. And so we consider ourselves a Christian spiritual conspiracy theorists. I mean, I don't know, you put it all together, I guess. I think it's all connected.
I call it supernatural, paranormal, conspiracist Christians.
Well, I had a young man tell me once, well, if you believe in aliens, then you must not believe in God. And I reminded this young man that in my version of the Bible, God created all life in the universe, not just here on Earth. And so I do believe that a lot of the aliens, if you want to call them that, can be interchangeable with interdimensional beings and spiritual beings, which I've captured a lot of evidence on. Hence my book, There Is No Death, Evidence of the Spirit World, Spirit and Orbs. I put a lot of pictures in there. And if you have the book in the back as a QR code, that will take you to a hidden web page. Where you'll see the videos that a lot of the pictures came from. So if someone says, oh, she photoshopped it, well, here's the video. It's literally, I just took a screen capture out of the video to use as a picture. And so it's real. And the beautiful thing is, So many people are capturing it now, especially because we're all walking around with our iPhones or smartphones.
Right.
Everybody's got some kind of surveillance equipment going around on their businesses and at home.
Mhm.
So that's how we actually kind of discovered what was happening around my home.
Well,
It's
the
not
first
even-
time the first time I was seeing the pictures of what they were saying UFOs, and you're seeing all the flashes and the twirling of the lights and stuff and moving of the circles, I thought immediately of a wheel inside of a wheel from the Bible. It just made perfect sense. All of a sudden it just like, that's it. It made sense to me.
Yeah, there's a guy I know, and he has a book out as well, and he's well known for interacting with UFO and aliens. That's really his genre. That's where he's in. And as soon as he started sending me pictures and things, I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, those look, a lot of it looks just like what spirit photography also captures. I have no doubt he was abducted. That's part of the story from aliens, right? I have no doubt that really truly happened to him. His memory and his reaction is just so visceral and so intense that it can't be a lie. I mean, he's got a lot of connections now to the government and other programs. High-ranking officials have come out to talk to him just because he really has had interactions. But there's that gray line between what is extraterrestrial, interdimensional, spiritual.
Right.
It's really beginning to blend together.
Yeah, it's almost like a conversion. Well, we talk about timelines and stuff, so it's almost like they're all coming back to source. Like it's all becoming, the veils being thinner, and everybody's starting to experience things, and people's intuitions and powers or special abilities are starting to start clicking and popping off everywhere.
Yep. Well, and I always tell people too, everybody has a little bit of abilities, regardless if they're aware of it or not, or even if they're aware of it, but they refuse to acknowledge it. But, it's one of those sixth sense, especially if you have a child. I think fathers can as well, but I think mothers, probably because we carried the child in the womb, for most of us, we have that mother's intuition. Everybody's heard the saying mother's intuition. When your child's sick, when something's going on. Well, that's a gift. That's a sixth sense, right? But so many of us have been told it's nonsense and it's not happening. So we don't pay any attention to it. We don't believe it because that's how we've been programmed from society, right?
Right.
But you get those children talking. There's so many videos and things out there now, but mainly on TikTok. Most of this stuff is on TikTok. Another reason why they're trying to ban it. But little kids under the age of 3, they go on and on about Jesus and what's going to happen and how things are done. And I mean, literally another saying, out of the mouth of babes. So it's children, they just came through the veil. They can see things that we can't.
Right.
Well, I can see them, but I mean, most people cannot see them. But there's a show out there. It was called, I think there's 3 seasons. You can still call it on like Fiber or maybe Netflix. It was called The Ghost Inside My Child. Now it's a silly name, but basically what it is are real life stories that the producers have put together of children that have remembered their prior lifetime with amazing accuracy. So much so that they were able to research and figure out who he was and to validate everything the children have said. And it's literally shocking. In fact, I can't wait. I was just I have a producer friend who produces TV shows in this genre. And we were in New York for my book. And so we got together for dinner one night and she was saying, oh, do I have one for you? And I said, what? And she goes, okay, we're doing a story. It's going to be a whole show on this little boy in India. And this little boy was born into a family in India when I think he got around age 4 or 5. I don't remember quite the details, so I can't wait for the show to come out. And she said she just told me today it's in post. So it's in editing. But this little boy was born into a family, and around 4 or 5 years old, he remembered his prior life, who he was, who killed him, why he killed him, where all the evidence is. And it held up in a court of law, and they prosecuted his old business partner who had murdered him.
Oh my gosh.
And this is in today's era. So it's a thing, people. It's really a thing. In fact, I do past life readings. And if you go to my webpage for past life readings, on there is 2 short little stories of readings I've given people. But at the bottom, I think are 3 stories that have basically been scientifically proven. They cannot be debunked, right? These are true stories about people in our generation that have remembered their prior lifetime and give amazing evidence, like Dorothy Eady from England. She literally single-handedly figured out how to put some of these temples back together because she was there.
Wow.
And
Now, if people want to get a hold of you, do they just go to the Crystal Peak Medium? Is that your website?
If people want to see some of this evidence, I have it on my website, or see some of these stories, just go to crystalpeakmedium.com. And that's kind of my handle on everything. So I'm on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook.
And I'm pretty sure that we provided all the links in our description of this YouTube or this video. So just check out our descriptions and you'll find her website and all the pertinent information.
Now, do you want me? So you start off talking about the video that got you interested, the one where I literally decided all these spirits were flying around, and I finally, after all these years, I finally had the brains to ask them to come in a color.
Yes.
So I did. So just for your audience. So there was a lot of activity going on, and this was on New Year's Eve. So every night when I go to bed, I usually pull up my phone and I just ask for my loved ones. Anybody want to come and say goodnight, or anybody want to sleep with us? Because our cats and dogs did. And we've had cats, dogs, ducks, all these kind of animals. So I said, hey, if any of you guys are my friends or family members, meaning furry, feathery, whatever, can you come in like pink? And nobody did this time. And it was funny because I got nothing. Well, I had one spirit the night before. That was it. And the night after New Year's Eve, I got nothing.
Oh.
So, and then on New Year's Eve, they went bananas. So I didn't get anybody that came in pink. But then I said, well, if you're our family and friends, not your animals, right? Animals, the pink, furry, fuzzy, feathery, pink, family members, friends and family, come in blue. Sure enough, I had two spirits turn blue. Then I said, well, if you're an interdimensional, can you come in green? And boy, did they ever.
Wow.
So I have, I put on Facebook, I have it.
On New Year's Eve.
I can play it.
Yeah.
How do I share? Can I share on here?
Yeah, you hit present at the bottom.
Okay, so let me try to make sure I present the right one. Share screen. Yes. And Chrome window, entire screen. No,
Pick window, and it should show your video in one of this.
Window, and then I'm not seeing my video. Safari, share. Can you see me, that video? I don't think so. I don't know what you've seen. Let me try. Video file, maybe can I do that? Oh, no, it doesn't want to do that.
Or usually you hit present, or for me on my side anyway, and I'm on a Windows
screen,
page.
right?
I hit present, then I hit the center tab, which is Windows, and then if I have the video already up on my screen, it should show up on there.
You know what? Maybe I need to pull it up in Chrome, or if you guys can. I was just pulling up my Facebook page to show them. Oh, do I have it here? Is it going to play here? Okay, I have it here.
Okay.
Let me try to do it this way. Yes. Window, select tab, Facebook. There we go. All right, which one do you see? You see this one. Okay, so can everybody see this video then?
Yes.
Yep, now it's up.
On New Year's Eve. Okay, here we go. So I have the volume down on here, but I basically say, I asked if you're friends and family, please go in blue. And it goes up right by, so I took the TV off. So it went right up past. And I zoom in here so you guys can see what happens. So here's my blue one. And you can go to Facebook and see the video and listen to all of it. Here they are again, definitely blue.
Right.
And then when I said, okay, if you're interdimensional, can you come in green? And this thing happened in front of my face, spirit. And then that happened. And so I slowed down, zoomed in, and it was a neon green.
Wow, it is.
And that bananas. Wow. Yeah, so isn't that fun? So yeah, so that was that was a lot of fun. So I don't know how I stopped sharing. Stop. Okay, I guess I'm
There
back.
you go. Yeah, that's the video I saw that, and I thought, man, it's amazing because we see orbs and stuff all the time on our live feeds, and we've had stuff happen behind my head during our lives and stuff. I thought, I never thought about asking them to turn different colors or do stuff.
You know, all I usually do is when I go out on location, I usually ask for spirit to appear if they want to tell me their story. So I'll do a quick little meditation and I'll open myself up so that I can see them and interact with them. And then I'll say, if anybody wants to come and tell me their story, I'd love to talk with you. So one of the things I've learned I can do is go to historical sites, or in this case, a plane crash, and talk to the people that were there at the time. So I did that. There was a United Flight 585 that crashed here in outside Colorado Springs in it touches us now, so it's kind of all gobbled up by Colorado Springs, but in Whitefield. And there had been a plane crash there several decades ago. So several years ago, my husband and I, we went there one night, and I just paid my respects. And I said, hey, if anybody wants to tell me their story. And I had two people step forward. One was a businessman, and he was on a business trip. And then one was this elderly lady. And she was so sweet. She let me know that she was either coming from visiting her grandchildren, or she was coming to Colorado Springs to visit her grandchildren. I don't remember which way it was, but I have always been interested in knowing what would that be like to be on a plane when you know it's going to crash.
Oh.
I mean, I fly occasionally, and I've always wondered, well, you're at 50,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 500 feet.
Right.
So I asked her. And to my amazement and shock, really, I asked her what it was like. And she said it was joyous.
Joyous. Wow.
And
you wouldn't think that would be the answer.
No, it would not. And I thought, wait, what? What? And my mind was like, I don't understand. And she said, we all went together before the plane hit. They all went together. And she says, all of our friends and family were there waiting for us. She goes, my husband was there waiting for me. It was like a big party, big reunion, family reunion. And it was joyous. And wow. I went, wow. I did not expect that. But one thing that you'll learn if you watch any of those shows, especially the little boy that remembers being a pilot in the war, or the boy that was a 9/11 jumper, if you listen to their stories, the number one thing they all say is they're not in their body at the end. And when I bring clients, you know, they come for readings and I bring their loved ones through in a mediumship reading, you know, they will often tell me what it was like when they exited this world, right? Or share with me, like if it was a really awful, you know, accident, car accident or something, they'll let me know that they actually departed their body. Their soul did prior to the death of this vessel.
Right.
I like to explain it this way, if I may.
Okay.
In this lifetime, I'm a white woman, blonde hair. My name's Susanne. I drive a white SUV. Well, you know, eventually it's going to get too many miles on it, or it's going to get in a wreck, and it's going to have to go to the junkyard. And I'm now without a ride, and I'm going to have to get myself a new means of transportation. Okay.
Right.
When our body dies, gets either too many miles on it, gets in an accident, and it goes to the heap yard, the cemetery, our soul still exists, but it no longer has a vehicle to travel in. We need to get ourselves a new ride. Hence why reincarnation happens. It's a thing. It's really a thing.
Yeah, because me and James talked about that before. You know, we always wonder, you know, you have these videos or pictures of what looks like an angel or a soul coming out of a bad accident. And we have always talked about, it's like, well, do they leave their bodies? Do they before they experienced it, or or is that something that happened after they passed? So we really didn't know. We're kind of flip-flopping back and forth.
Well, I did a reading over the summer for a young man, and his friend had been killed by a car. He didn't want to drive home. He had too much to drink, so he was being responsible. So he was just going to walk home. Well, lighting being what it was dark. He was walking alongside the road. He had bent down for something, I don't know what, and he was hit. And in the reading, his friend let him know that as soon as the car hit him, I got that he got hit in the head. My client that I gave read to confirmed, yes, he was hit in the head. I said, he wants you to know, it's really important that you know that at that moment of impact, his soul bounced out. Like, he's out. He's no longer in that vessel. Because then the guy in spirit let me know that the car then continued on over him. And he actually did live. The body lived for a little bit. And this client confirmed all that. But the guy in spirit, his friend in spirit, just kept reiterating, I was gone. I didn't feel any of it. There was no pain. I had no suffering. You have to understand. Please understand. There was no pain, no suffering, right? So that's what the beautiful part is. Now, with the elderly lady I was talking with, I'd taken my few photos of her because I knew I was talking to her. I knew it was legit because, trust me, I wouldn't have made up that it was joyous to die. So when I got there, I felt like all these trees represented them, like a tree. I felt like every tree was for a person on the planet. Well, I did some research. Yes, every tree in the park was planted for a single person, every tree. But I took some pictures and I captured some amazing evidence, which I didn't know I had right away. Because I was just on my phone, right? So you can only see the picture this big, right? And I couldn't see it. But it wasn't until I got home and on my computer I zoomed into the photo. Would you like me to share that?
Yes, please.
Where did I put it? Here we go. Oh, now how am I going to share that? Let me see if I do this, because the way this browser is working, I can't just, so if I share, if I do this, will it just load? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so let me do this, and I will share screen, do this, and Windows, and this. So I took this picture. Can you see her? Is it the right screen?
Yep, I got to bring it up. There it is.
Okay, so I took this photo, but I didn't see anything in here. But it wasn't until later where I seen that image. And if you zoom in, it's this one.
Wow.
This is the elderly lady's beautiful. In fact, she is to this day the prettiest spirit I have ever captured.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. That looks like an energy, or what I would imagine an energy of a soul or a being would be.
I think it looks like an angel. I mean, I just think it's just beautiful. There's only one spirit that did his best to scare me. He was an old miner in Cripple Creek. And he went by, and when he flew past me, he looks very, very ghostly. He looks really, really ghostly to me. And that's really the only one that was like that. It's this one here. I don't know if your viewers can see.
Let me make you the. There you go. Now try it.
There we go. So this is what he morphed into. I gotta back it up, I guess. When he flew past me.
Wow.
I said, "You don't scare me. I can see you." He was trying to be scary. And I'm like, you grumpy old miner. You're fine. But other than that, I mean, I do have like crazy, crazy ones. I kind of started classifying them because I get thousands. So if I may, I'll drop this in here. And this will show you how I've kind of classified them now.
Okay.
Let me see if I can share my screen again. Yes, Windows, yes. Okay, then I think, yeah. So if your viewers can see this, so I kind of put some in classifications of orbs, right? They're just the orbs, right? And
Right.
then some that are these bubbly things. And if you watch some of my videos online, you'll see that it rotates and evolves, right? This has got like Mickey Mouse ears, but it really rotates and moves the energy.
Right.
Some of these are really interesting because can you see, how big can I make it? Some of the energy is this funny string type energy, right? It's very light and stringy, almost like you scratched the picture, like you scratched the film. But this is digital. There's no scratching going on, but it can look like it's scratched. Some of it is this energy, light energy. Some of this, and I have a video of this out there, it actually disintegrates. It just disappears. It literally drips down pieces and parts and elements, and it just kind of drifts and disappears. These I've classified into lines because you'll see this beautifully crystal clear, super sharp energy line. Look how perfect it is.
Right.
Not a bug, not an insect. It is energy. And I put those as more of interdimensional. This thing has got kind of pink and blue a little bit in it as it flies by. This thing shot up, flipped, and went the other way. So these I get a lot. These are quite common. Then you get into more of the angular shapes. So this one and this one are both caught on our Ring camera. Oh, and this one on our Ring camera. No, they're not bugs and insects. I can easily show you what bugs and insects look like. And these are not it. In fact, this is from a video I shot in our backyard. It flew up to me, banked around, and flew away. It's actually our duck truffles. And if you look at it, it literally looks like a bird.
Wow.
This one is our friend, the elderly lady that died in a plane crash. This is just one of a series of images. So this flew past me when I'm staying outside. I put this as distinctive, where it's energy. So this one was at the plane crash as well. It almost looks like a caterpillar. It is not. It's literally an interdimensional being. This one is also interdimensional. I say that because of this intense rod of light. Can you see that?
Right.
And this shape completely changes and morphs. In fact, I can show you after this. I can show you that.
Okay.
This is my ghostly friend. This one I just posted, and I posted it on Jim Harold's Jim Harold Plus. We did a podcast together, and I posted it on there for people to see. I don't know what it is. I haven't put it into a classification yet. This doesn't change shape. It comes from inside our house, from around the house, and it flies right past. And you can see all these lines. So some people thought, oh, it was a milkweed pod, or some people thought it was dandelion. Some people thought it was a dragonfly. People thought that it's pollen. I don't think it's any of those things, just because it doesn't have a tail. Somebody said she can clearly see the dragonfly tail. I don't. And other people think it's justly a dandelion, but you got to understand at this time of year, well, number one, we don't have those here anyways, but this time of year, none of that would be flying in our backyard. So I don't know what it is. So I always welcome comments, because that one, I'm still on the fence. This one's interdimensional, and it, just like this one, it does kind of make an inner rod in it, but it's very fluid, almost like fabric. Yeah. And it's a video of that as well. This is also a video captured by a Ring camera. And this one, I can show you. This one, the spirit flies past and smacks me on my back. As it flies past, which is, in my opinion, flippin' hilarious. Let me put this one in here. So how it does disappear? It's probably really too tiny, isn't it? Let me see if I can make it bigger. So you can see it slowly approaching. Can I go bigger? Yeah, slowly approaching, and it's smaller. And as it gets closer, it gets bigger, and it's changing shape. And then it slows down and taps me on my back. I didn't even feel it. And then it shoots off.
Wow.
And so the entire thing is several steps long. It's quite a process. Now, the other one I was just talking about, my husband said it looks like a cuttlefish, but look at the energy line.
Right.
And look at how it morphs.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think it's fascinating. So I have, in the book, I put a whole bunch of stuff in there, but I also talk about how to debunk your own work. In fact, I will occasionally offer a spirit photography class where I talk about that. And it's so funny because I'll bring up a picture of like an insect and they'll go, oh my gosh, she caught a fairy. Sorry, it's an insect. I mean, because you have to look at your camera, and I could see insects flying around in front of my camera. So I know for sure it was an insect. I could see them. They were attracted to my camera. So then I brought up another one, and to me, it kind of looks like a drone. They're like, oh my gosh, that's a fairy. No, that's an insect. That's a bug. I actually know it's a bug. I've seen it.
I'll show you one that I just uploaded. It's an older video that we caught on our live feed, and I really want to know what your opinion is, and everybody in chat. So we'll just play it, and we'll let everybody decide what they think it is.
Yes, that'd be great.
Let me see. I gotta find it first. Think I would know where everything is.
Yeah, I've got so many things stashed so many places. I'm the same way.
Where did you go? I think it's this one. All right, so we were doing a live, I think it was New Year's Eve, Jane, that we were doing this, or
I'm not sure which video you're talking.
When I walked out in the field to interact with them, was it Christmas or New Year's Eve?
It was around Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, it was what, like 0 degrees? I mean, it was freezing that night. Yeah.
So we're doing a live, and we're seeing these rods or these lights flash in our backyard while we have the security cameras going. We have them on screen during our show. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get dressed. It's middle of winter. It's like 17 degrees out. I thought I'm going to go out there and try to interact to see if anything happens. So this is what we caught.
There was no breeze, and we had snow on the ground.
Can you do it again?
Yes, I will. I don't know if it's big enough. I don't know if it's big enough for you guys. Could you see it?
Yeah, it's big enough. Yep.
And was that
Well,
cold?
if they're looking on their phones, it might be kind of tiny on someone's phone, but if they go to YouTube, they could see it. Yeah, so I tend to actually dismiss those.
Why, you think because they're bugs in the wintertime?
I do think it could be a particle because it's so translucent the entire time, and it never changes shape the entire time, right? So for me, it could be dust particle or something like that. Insect, no, I don't think it's an insect. Just because I don't see wings. Typically, you'll see this ladder effect. People will, and they'll get really excited, and I think they call it, there's a name for it. But anyways, they're insects. And what's happening is those lines, those evenly spaced lines you see, people have done research on it, and they're insects. And what happens is your video all has a frame rate to it, right? Well, they have a frame rate, so to speak, insects do, on how fast their wings flutter. And so when they do that, it's typically an insect. However, I believe you guys showed me one once that was definitely not dust.
Right. Well, I mean, personally, I don't think that one was dust. I don't think it was an insect, just for the fact that when I was getting dressed in the house, all the orbs and the lights started going towards the house, like they knew I was coming out.
Oh, interesting.
And then when I went out to the fire pit and sat down, in this video, I clipped it out. I didn't show it because it's like 20 minutes long. I was sitting here like this, just concentrating, meditating, like, okay, I want to interact with you. Come close to me, whatever. And that's when that came through. But with my naked eye, there was no insects, no dust. I had a flashlight out there shining it, so there was nothing flying around in the air, and it was still wind, 17 degrees, middle of winter.
Yeah.
So I think it was something else.
It could have been. It could have been. I tend not to share those type just because people will beat me up online with it. They're like, right. Oh, I get that all the time. It's dust kind of thing. And so that's where I always just try to save the ones that are very distinctive and very unique. But
right.
You guys had a video you showed me the other day. That was
I can bring
really
that one
cool.
up too.
Yeah, if you got it handy, can you show that?
The one where I took all of them, put them together.
I
one?
think so, yeah. But they were very
Or are you talking about the rod going inside the orb?
Yes, that's the one.
That's the
Oh,
one.
okay.
Not
I didn't want to give away
rods
the
and
farm
skyfish.
here before the big
All right. I will get that one loaded and
yeah, that one was really cool.
That is taken on an ATN night vision binoculars.
Okay. That's good to know.
so that's regular speed.
Yeah.
So I'll play that again. Because it goes by pretty fast.
Yes, yeah.
And then all I did was just slow it down. So I'll bring this one up.
I just love this one. I think it's really special.
It's just amazing where almost like it either went into it and got absorbed, or it's using it as a vessel to travel or do something else. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't either. And what's interesting is that it's modular. Like if you look closely and when it's flying in the solid black area, you can see it lighten and darkens. It kind of does this changing of tone value within the shape. Yeah, so you could say, well, it's just reflecting the bush. So go back, let it go further to where, no, the other way, so that you can see the modeling that happens after it goes past that tree or bush.
Yeah, it's actually a tall tree.
Yeah, so keep your eye on that. And yes, there is stuff in the background, but look at what's happening inside the orb. Very, very interesting to me.
Yeah, right there it changes in the middle.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool. It's very interesting to me. You got a good one there. Yeah, that is so neat, isn't it? It's fun to see those. Now it gets lighter and darker here because of the backdrop, right? So this is where we work real hard to discern what is backscatter, right?
Right.
I talk about that in my spirit photography class. What is backscatter? It can even happen underwater. So what is backscatter? What is sun glare? What is your light metering? I'll get people every once in a while that get so excited, and I hate crushing their excitement, but they'll send me a photo with a blue dot or two green dashes in it or a red square. That's actually your smartphone or your digital camera's way it meters, focusing and light meter. So they'll say, no, it was following me. Yeah, because it's a slight delay. So when you're moving your video, it will have a slight delay in following you. It's just your equipment, right? Honestly, to be completely transparent, when I started doing this, I thought every single thing I captured was a spirit. Yeah, no. You know, a lot of it's dust, a lot of it's bugs, that's a lot of insects, especially like if you're in an older area, older building, there's gonna be a lot of dust flying around and stuff like that. That's why, for me, you kind of have to look for key indicators. Is there a defined shape? Does the shape morph? Does it stay opaque or translucent? Does it change? Does it change a color? I mean, there's all these different characteristics. And then, what was your environment like, right? Where were you? And so what I talk about, and I teach in the book too, is I put together kind of a little floor plan, just real quick, about how to set up your camera equipment, like when to do it, how to do it, where to put it at. Do you want a flash on? Do you want lighting, or you don't want lighting? Because here's what you'll discover. If you're doing photography daytime or nighttime, and you use a flash as an example, it might reflect off of something in the area you're photographing. Outside, inside, it reflect off a light pole. It can reflect off a door handle, car door handle. It could reflect off of a house or building. So what you want to do is you want to do the same pictures with light, without light, in the dark, you know, that kind of stuff, just to see if it changes. Because even I have gone, oh crap, what the flip is in the back of the room? And you go back there and you realize it was a can sitting on a shelf that reflected. And so I thought you got something when I was panning the camera. No, it wasn't. It was just something in the back of the room, right? So that's where, if you really want to do this and do it seriously, you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be willing to debunk your own work.
Exactly.
And we do that all the time.
You put it out there, somebody else will.
We're very
we
open and
debunk them.
transparent on like where we're at, what camera it is, what the temperature is, what time of season it is, when we caught it, and what we think it is. You know, we don't tell people right away. We kind of, me and Jane talk it over and try to think, you know, is that dust? Is that whatever it is? And there's a lot of times we do debunk our own stuff, but there's other ones like that one out there in the middle of winter. It's like, and we were concentrating and it was during a live show and there wasn't dust or anything else flying around at that time. So we honestly say we don't know. We think it was a rod or something other than dust or an insect because of the time and when it was happening. And and we like to chat, you know, chime in and say, what do you think it is? You know, let us know what you think it is.
Our live feeds, we have two cameras in the barn. And we have gone on our live feed and switched over to those barns and turned on the infrared and showed them exactly what dust looks like.
Oh, perfect.
With the goats and chickens out there, there is always dust. So we have shown them this is what dust looks like. Then we go back on the outside.
Or even our summer videos will show what a bat looks like on camera, what a butterfly or an insect.
A praying mantis. Praying mantis looks just like a fairy, like you said. I have tons of praying mantis, and people say, "Oh, I just saw a fairy." Well, I'll go back and I went, "No, that's definitely a praying mantis."
So we have a lot. We have thousands of hours of comparison videos to say, okay, this is what we see nightly, you know, whether it's lightning bugs, praying mantises, moths, whatever it is, and bats.
Yes, lightning bugs is perfectly round also. They don't make rods or skyfish shapes. They are perfectly round when you see them on the camera.
Is that right?
Just blink on and off.
That is really cool. You know, that kind of thing I think is really, really neat.
So then when we happen to catch something that's outside the norm that we think, okay, this doesn't look like what we normally see during the summer or winters, we point it out and we like people to tell us what they think. And then eventually we say, okay, we're not sure. We have no idea, but this is our best guess.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I don't know what everything is either. I am still discovering and learning stuff like this stuff that kind of looks like it scratched a photo. Literally looks like a scratch on a photo. It's not. I'm standing there taking one picture after another outside, and it's happening on a digital camera. It's literally really, really happening. And so that's the part where you go, now what are you? So I need to go back and meditate and ask them to step forward and explain to me, what are you? You know, like, why are you here? What are you? And people say, aren't you afraid? No, because I don't allow that. So when I go to a site, the first thing I do is a little meditation, like I mentioned earlier, and I do what we call a white light protection prayer. And so basically I say only entities of light and love can surround me, and for my angels and guides to block any dark entity that wishes to do harm to myself, my family, my friends. And so I don't think about dark stuff. I don't welcome it, and I'm sure not looking for it. So I just have never had that, other than the old miner that was trying to speak.
So in your original video, we were talking about where you had family members turn a certain color and entities turn a certain color. What was the mixture? What do you usually see? Do you see more family members? Do you see more?
Well, yeah, at night, you know, I was going to say at night, I'm usually calling in my family and friends to say good night, and our cats and dogs and stuff. So I've been assuming it's mainly them. However, I do have a video out there as well. I think it's on my YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. And I can pull it up here if you want me to. But we went to Egypt 2 years ago and brought back some papyrus artwork. Well, we got more than what we bought.
Oh.
I actually have video of spirits flying out of the Egyptian papyrus artwork.
Wow.
When you say relatives are blue, is it because you asked them to turn blue? What
and
about
I just asked them to turn blue. Yeah.
Right. So if the chat said, you know, if they see blue, it's not automatically going to be a relative unless they say,
oh yeah,
will the relatives come in, let's say purple, and they'll come in the colors that you're asking. So you just asked for blue. I just want to clarify that blue doesn't mean it's always a relative.
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
That night I asked for
Okay.
Right, specific.
Yeah, just a
Yeah,
gift.
I wanted to
So
break
Kat's
up
not
who
confused.
they were, so I picked a bunch of different random colors. But I actually have a video out there. It's so cute. Of we rescue dogs and things, and we only have one left, and she's a little old lady, and she loved our dog Toby, who is a Sheltie, and she had a close call with death, but she made it. We brought her home, but that night she was standing there barking into our kitchen in the dark, but not aggressive barking, like talking barking. And I thought, who are you barking at? And then it dawned on me, oh my goodness, does she see Toby?
Oh,
So I grabbed my camera and started filming, and there was a lot of spirits flying around. And I said, Toby, if you're here, can you come in a color? And then I thought to myself, I didn't know if dogs actually seen color. But then on film, and I slowed it down, on film, you can see he went through the entire rainbow of colors as he threw past.
wow.
Wow.
He went right through all the rainbows of color, which were spectacular. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I wanted to show you this video. I've got one at night in our room. And let me see, to get it to work, I'm going to have to drop it onto the browser so I can pull it up for you. Let me just do that. Okay, just send. And I need to go to this window to do it, right? Or this one. Okay, this window. And so in this video, if you can share this one, I would love to know what your followers are thinking.
It hasn't popped up on our side yet, my side.
Oh, it hasn't yet. Okay, maybe I need to do this. I think it's operator error. Me.
There it is. Now it's coming.
Okay, so in this video, it's the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m. I had gotten up and I was going to go get a drink of water. And I did not know any of this was going on, and it probably would have continued going on, but when there's no big motion, the motion sensor camera stopped. But this is what happened, and the cat sees it.
Huh.
So you can see it pops in here. And it's that intense bright white. See how bright, intensely white it is? And then the cat can see it. Let me go back. Where's the frame here?
Can you enlarge it just a little? Are you able to zoom in a little or not?
Go back here. Was this zoomed in a little bit better? Maybe a little bit. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
And the cat's watching it.
Huh. Wow.
Is that not bananas? I'd love to know what your audience thinks of that one. I thought it was pretty crazy myself.
That's interesting. How many spirits or orbs, when like you do your nighttime thing, how many do you think are maybe family members or pets or animals coming in to visit you? Do you ever ask for your past pets or any pets to come?
Yeah, I do think most of them are cats and dogs and ducks and things like that. But now that I've have the brains to start asking it questions, it might be something completely different. So I don't know.
I was just curious because we see, we see orbs, and once in a while we'll see stuff in our house or like the live feed. So I'm just curious to myself, okay, could that be my favorite pet from my childhood, or could it be, one of the animals we've had put down, because of sickness and illness that we love come in, or is it actually a loved one or a family member? How do you, I don't have the connection to I haven't really asked them, but I haven't had that presence or feeling to determine which one it is.
It's all of our past chickens.
All of our past chickens.
Well, that would be a room full then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
The best thing to do is to ask. And when you ask your loved ones in spirit to make contact with you, when something happens, don't dismiss it. Like, oh, well, that's just a coincidence. No, it's not. So as an example, this gal I was giving a reading to, this was a couple years ago now. And she told me she was in New York City, and I was giving her a mediumship reading. She wanted to connect to her son who had passed away. And the reading was beautiful. It lasted about 45 minutes to an hour. And I was telling the son telepathically, thanks so much for coming. But hey, your mom really misses you. If you could spend more time with her, I know she would love that. And that's when he said, I'm always with my mama. And he said it in such a strange way. And so I said, so I told my client what I had said to him telepathically and what he had said back. And I said, did he ever call you a mama? And she goes, yeah, my son and daughter both call me that. And I said, well, he says he still spends time with you. Just a minute. And I went back to him and he showed me that he would share his energy with this little brown bird. And I said, he tells me he can manifest, like he can share his energy with this little brown bird. But didn't you tell me you live in New York City? She goes, yeah, but a year ago we moved to the country. And she goes, and here's the thing. I will sit in the morning out on the porch and have my cup of coffee. And shortly after we moved there, this little brown bird showed up. And he sits on the railing and talks to me all morning while I'm having my cup of coffee. I said, that's actually your son. And then her son began to tell me, and I can see her. He'll sit on a branch and look inside the house through a window. And when I told her that, she just burst into tears. She says, oh my gosh, yes, I see that same bird sitting on branches outside my house looking in the window. It's so tame, I thought it was someone's pet. And I said, no, that's your son.
Wow.
So it's really, really a thing. And, if people love their animals as much as we did, I would love to share a couple of quick little stories with you to let people know that your animals will go to heaven. If you love them, I promise you, they will be there waiting for you. So I was giving this gal a reading. Her mom was on this side of me, daughter was on this side of me. I brought somebody through in spirit. We had a lovely conversation. I let that person go, and I was going to pull somebody else in from spirit. When all of a sudden this dog knocks me off my chair, and through my mouth, I yelled out, Bruno! And then I realized, what's happening? I look over the daughter, who's 20-ish, and she started tearing up. Then I looked over at the mom, and she says, what did you say? I said, well, apparently I have a male dog here, a brown dog, and his name is Bruno. And she goes, what? And I said, did you not have a brown dog named Bruno? And she says, well, we did, but that was a long time ago. I said, there's no time in heaven, honey. Then Bruno, the dog, looked over at the daughter and says, you were mine. And
wow.
That came out of my mouth, so it sounded odd. So I said, that was your dog. And she goes, yeah, I got that. And then the dog looks back over at the mom. And if you've seen the movie Up with the dog Doug,
Right.
You're going to appreciate this. He looks over at the mom and says, I can still see you, but I can't smell you no more.
No.
And now the tears are like flowing from all of us. Then the dog looks back over at the girl. And now I'm trying to gain control back over. I mean, I allow people to channel through me all the time, but I never had a dog do this. So I look over the girl and I said, the dog's trying to talk and I try to gain control. So the only thing out of my mouth was, I went to the dog and I said, can you give me just a minute here? And I looked back at her and I just said, your dog wants you to know that he's still been trying to protect you from heaven and that you have put yourself in some pretty scary predicaments in the past, which she confirmed. And then the dog, I said, he still tries to get your attention, but you don't hear him. And that's when I started barking at my client.
Oh,
Bark, 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 which was clearly the dog.
right.
So they do very much go to heaven. They still hang out with us. You still might see them around. You know what I mean? Your other animals might see them. If you see your animals doing this, well, quick, grab your cell phone and start videotaping or taking pictures. Chances are they're seeing somebody in your area that they can see. A gal came for a reading. This was, I think, earlier this year. Well, now we're 2025, maybe a year ago. So, and as I was powering up, I had this big dog come into me, and I went, hello, well, okay, if you're here for my client, just hang out and I'll let her know you're waiting. So she comes, sits down, and I said, refresh my memory. What kind of reading did you want again? And she goes, mediumship. I said, oh, good. I said, because I got a dog here that wants to talk to you. And she goes, what? I said, I have a big dog, short hair, big dog, like almost like mastiff size. He was a big dog, short hair, maybe even like lab dog. She goes, okay. And the dog kept putting his paw in front of my face like this. I'm like, I said, he wants you to know that he has new pink paws, brand new pink paws. And she goes, oh, okay. And I said, well, he's letting me know he used to lick his paws a lot. She goes, oh my God, yeah, he did lick his paws. So now I realize, okay, she did have a dog pass. Because at this point, I don't even know if she even had a dog, because she's giving me no indications that this is like really happening. So she goes, yeah. And I said, well, he had arthritis in his paws, in his feet. She goes, oh my God, that's what was wrong with him? We never knew what was going on. I said, but it's okay. And what I've learned is all animals, regardless what kind, when they pass into spirit, they kind of go back to the age of 2. So they have their eyesight and their hearing and all their fur and feathers and all their teeth and everything. No arthritis. Everything's perfect. No hip problems, right? So he let me know he had new pink pads. All is good. Then he showed me that he was standing next to a bunch of guys. I could see him from waist down. I couldn't see up, waist down. He was standing with a bunch of guys. And I told her that. And she goes, no idea who that'd be. I said, well, let me ask him. So he says he's made new friends and they get to go hunting together. She goes, oh. And that's when the dog showed me that he gets to go pheasant hunting.
Oh.
That's when she said he was a pheasant hunting dog. That's what we got him for, was for to go pheasant hunting.
Huh.
I said, well, he still gets to do it in heaven.
Wow.
Then the dog says, oh, I can do more. I can do more. And he showed me pushing his nose along the ground. And I thought, okay, he says he can do more. And he's showing me pushing his nose in the dirt along the ground. And she goes, he was a tracker.
Oh, there you go.
So the dog went on and on. There's a lot more to the story, but what I'm trying to get your audience to understand is that your loved ones do go to heaven and they will be there waiting for you. And we've even had some ducks, just mallard ducks. Our first one was a rescue duck, and then we loved her so much that when she flew away, we went and got another one that we figured would fly away, but she never did. She just thought she was a dog. She played with the dog. Dogs would go up to the fence to bark at the neighbors. She'd go up the fence and quack at the neighbors. We'd all sit in the living room at night and watch TV. She'd sit on the massaging chair and watch TV with us. I mean, she literally thought she was a dog, inside dog. She died. Coyote got her in her backyard, which was devastating, to say the least. So that night I went into meditation and I called for my dad, who was also in spirit, because I was distraught. I was really upset. And he appeared, and in his arms, he was holding my duck truffles. And he was stroking her back. And he let me know he has her, and she'll be waiting there for me.
I agree.
Wow.
I do have a video that I've reposted. Now, it's on TikTok. I downloaded it because, everything's going the way of the dodo bird, supposedly on the 19th.
2 days here now coming up.
Yeah, isn't it? And I have a video that I have repurposed, and it's amazing because in this video, and if I have it here, I'll put it in here real quick for you all to see. It shows the moment your soul leaves the body.
Oh.
It's literally caught on film, which I ended up sharing. It's not this one. If I could find it real quick here, I would share it with your audience. If not, go to my TikTok, go to my Instagram. I'm certain it's there, but it will show you the moment someone, is this the one? Nope, that's the portal that opens up. So CERN opened it up. But I've got one that's really, really, truly amazing where you can see this. Oh, here it is. Okay, so hang on a minute. I can play it for you. Okay, let me pull it up here. I'll drop it into my Dropbox or into this window, and then we can share the window. It's really fascinating because, and there's quite a bit of this stuff out there, so that people can look up. But let me share window, and here it is. So if you can share that, and maybe I can make it even a wee bit. Oh no, shoot, this isn't the one. My bad. This is a different one of a woman that has orbs around her dad as he's about to depart. Well, shucks. If I find it, I will share it with you. If not, if they go to my, I'm sorry, if they go to my Facebook or Instagram, they'll be able to see it there.
Okay.
I do have one though that is really interesting. I call it plasma. And it was taken outside in a park in Colorado Springs. And it's really interesting because it's like plasma.
Wow.
Let me drop that one in for your audience to see.
So I have 3 instances of pets that were passed and I experienced. So I'll talk to that after we.
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah. So if you can see it. Okay. So here we go. I call it plasma because watch what it does. It does loop, 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 loop. You see how it does this odd, stretchy, orby thing?
Yeah.
Is that not crazy? So I'll do it one more time.
Wow. It changes shape and turns more fluid.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how it does all that. And it does this stretchy thing. And that was the first one that I've ever seen that had done something like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting, actually. So, they're fun. They're fun to see. I was trying to find the one that I wanted to show you of the when the soul leaves the body to show people, because you can say, oh, that's not true. That doesn't happen. Well, it does happen. And I was I thought I had it right here. Oh, this is a cool one. So this is what I'm saying. Interact with them. Talk to them. Have a conversation with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do. I've never asked them to come in color to differentiate who's who. But check this one out. So we're in the Garden of the Gods Park. And I think you can see it now to share, maybe.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, here we go.
All right, now it's coming through.
Okay, so here we go. So I asked this spirit, I could see him flying around. Okay, I'll go slow. Did you see what happened?
Yeah.
So it goes right up to her face, goes in front of her face, and then it zooms off. That at the bottom, that's just reflectors off her shoes. There it is. Okay, I'm trying to, there it goes. And then it zooms at me. So I'll play it from the beginning here.
Huh. Wow.
Isn't that crazy fun?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Isn't it? So talk to them, ask them, have a conversation with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I never thought about it ever doing that. I mean, you would think you would talk to a human or a loved one that comes in if you know that's what it is, but an animal or anything else, or I've never thought about asking anything to change colors or show me, you know, do.
Well, I hadn't either until the other night. And I'm like, why didn't I think to do this way sooner? So
Yeah, I'm not able to see colors on our outdoor cameras, but we do have microphones, and I will play music or singing bowls or just talk to them on the
Yes.
microphone,
yes,
and they interact. They come up to the cameras and
they
interact.
can, because they are trying to get your attention.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'll just
as
come
I was-
out and say, hello, my friends. And they just start dancing around and coming up to the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't see color because it's, you know, night vision.
So
No,
like I said, I have 3 instances of pets or past pets that I believe came and visited us. And I don't know if Jane's experience, I think Jane's had it too, but
Oh yeah.
in the middle of the night, when me and Jane's in bed, we would have our cats with us once in a while, or our dog, whichever the case be. But this one night, there wasn't anybody else in there. And I felt exactly like what our cat would do, crawling in between. You could just feel the paws coming, like it was moving the blankets and comforters. And I woke up, and I think we even talked about that. And I said, Jane, is there a cat in here? Did you let somebody out? And I think we came to the conclusion that was Ashes that passed away. I think.
Well, I had my cat Victoria, who I love very, very much. I would ask her to come pink at night, and I could see her manifest at the end of the bed and slowly walk up to me as a pink orb. So I did find the one. I'll share it now. I did find the video of the moment the soul leaves the body. Okay, should be ready to share. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go.
Yep.
You see it?
Huh.
This one. See it? Yep. Here it goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing one on an ambulance, seeing something like that flying out of the ambulance.
Yeah.
That was viral for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really a thing. There's one on the internet too. It's amazing. It's sad. A deer, a doe, she died right actually below a street lamp. And you can see this massive energy soul leave her and go up. So yeah, the wild animals too, deer and bear and mountain lions, and they all go to heaven.
Wow.
Yeah. So
the other one was, I was standing at the foot of our bed, and I don't know if I was changing my shirt or whatever. I was straightening out clothes. Now, the corner of my eye, I saw a cat go from our bedroom into our master bathroom. But there's no cats in our room. I even went in the bathroom just to make sure maybe I missed a cat or there wasn't one in there. Nope, nothing, nobody. So I'm pretty sure, and the first thought that came to my mind was Ashes again. In the corner of my eye, I saw exactly Ashes going by. So,
well, and that's what I talk to people about when I do the spirit photography. So maybe people in the chat over here and the comments can say if they've seen it. But I always talk about, we have rods and cones in our eyes, right? Rods pick up different light frequency than the rods do. Their cones and rods are different. So you can sometimes see things out of your corner of your eye, your peripheral, but when you turn and look, it's not there. It's
Right.
because the outside of your eyes are picking up a different light frequency so it can see it. And then when you turn and you look directly, I believe with your cones in the middle of your eyes, it's not there anymore.
Right.
So practice
Right.
with your hands. You can see them. You can still see both. Can you still see both?
I have great peripheral vision. So I would always see people and feel them, the presence walking up before, and I could see them before they actually got to me. So I know I have good peripheral vision. So that's why the cat thing is like, I know it was a cat.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, they will try to get your attention as well. Not as hard as people do, but you know, it's funny when I give clients readings, you know, a lot of them will say, you know, I think it's actually the number one thing I get is, I'm always talking to them, asking for a sign, and nothing ever happens. It's because you're dismissing it. Like if you're outside walking down the street, downtown or something like that, and all of a sudden you get a super strong whiff of your mom's perfume, the kind she always wore, or sweet cigars, the type that your dad used to smoke or whatever, know that they're with you. It's not a random thing like that, right? In fact, one daughter let me know, the mom, we were ending the reading, and the mom says, well, how do I know? Because the daughter said, I'm always with my mom. And the mom said, well, how would I know that? And the daughter said, oh, the animals see her. And I told the mom that, and the mom goes, oh my gosh, yes, they're always looking around the room. I didn't know what they were doing. And I said, they're watching your daughter. I said, but your daughter also says you're big animals outside, like horses or something. She goes, yeah. She says they see them too. And she goes, oh my God, they do act funny and start looking. I had a gal recently say she wanted her first husband deceased, long time ago anyways. And he let me know that he does, because she misses him. And he let me know that he's often with her. And she goes, oh, same thing. How would I know that? And he let me know that he would stroke her hair like this. So I said, oh, may I touch you? And she goes, yes. And I said, okay. And I just gently did what he showed me, just like this. And she goes, oh my God, what are you doing? I said, he tells me he does this to you at night when you're in bed. And she goes, I feel that all the time. Are you telling me that's him? I said, well, that's what he's telling me. And she goes, oh my God, yes. Okay, so they will do all sorts of things to get your attention. They'll, put on the favorite, if you're in the car and their song came on, the song that they like so much, or the band they like so much starts playing on the radio, that's an indicator they're with you, right? If you see random money in odd places, like, God, I dropped that in the middle of the floor. You go pick up a coin and drop. Well, first of all, you got to remember, did you even have the quarter in your pocket? And if so, would you have dropped it? I mean, so they try to do it, but it's pretty subtle, you know what I mean?
I heard one that was on somebody else's show that the person had a favorite song, the loved one that passed away, and this person was in their car. Song comes on. I thought, oh wow, that's memories.
Yeah.
Switch to another station, same song comes on. Had 3 times, and that song came on all 3 stations that they switched to.
Wow.
It's like somebody's saying something to you.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's amazing. So they are very much around. Now I had a guy, he got a little concerned about it. He goes, do they see everything? Do they know everything we're doing? And I went, well, they're not spying on you in the shower. They're not spying on you when you're intimate with your loved one. I said, no, but you're thinking about them. Maybe you're doing something that your dad used to enjoy doing, or maybe your dad hated doing it. Look, Dad, now I got to do it. Kind of, they'll be there. I mean, they, believe it or not, something that I learned, which I didn't know was a thing, is a lot of them have jobs and responsibilities in heaven, which I went, really? So it was years ago. I was giving a gal a reading, and the reading was over, and we brought through her mother and spirit. And I don't know what made me think of this, but I said, you want to know what your mom's doing in heaven? She goes, yeah, I'd like to know. I said, yeah, me too. So I went back to her mother and I just said, hey, what are you doing in heaven? Like, how you spend your days? Next thing I know, if you've been to the fair in like a fun house or a house of mirrors or whatever, everything's at different angles, right? You're walking through a maze of angles. Well, we're in a hallway. It's all dark, but I can see the panels are different panels. Next thing you know, we open up a door and we're in this big, well-lit room. It almost seemed like a citizen center, some community center. And there was all these tables, round tables, and a ton of people sitting on it. And she's standing up front, and there's like a black chalkboard, big one. Like the wall was really long, like, I don't even know, 30, 40 feet, really long. And she's up there and she's talking, teaching people things. I said, oh my goodness, your mother's a teacher? Like, she has a job teaching. I don't know what she's teaching, but she's teaching. Next thing I know, she does this to me. Her mother in spirit scoots me. Okay, out you go now. She opened the door. I walked out and she closed the door on me.
Ah,
I'm like, I bust out laughing. I'm like, did that really just happen? So I told my client that your mom's a teacher, so and so. And this is when she says to me, you are the 6th person to tell me my mom's a teacher in heaven.
oh my gosh.
So it's really a thing. It really, really is a thing. Maybe sometime I can talk to you about the hierarchy and how it works. And not everybody that passes away gets their angel wings. That's just not how it works. There was a gal, her name is Rosie, and she had a TV show. She's a beautiful lady, beautiful energy. She gives medium. She's a medium. She give readings. It was a TV show. And everybody that she brought in, oh, I have your mother here. She's an angel. Yeah, no. No. I mean, your neighbor might be a POS. He ain't getting his angel wings when he gets to heaven. I got to tell you, that's not how it works. You earn them, and you earn them over a lot of lifetimes. So maybe sometimes we can go down that rabbit hole, because I'm sure your audience is going to go, wait, what? So there are tiers, there are levels to heaven, and our souls are. We want to ascend to a certain level. That's why we're experiencing certain things in this lifetime. It's kind of like, if you think about coming to Earth, it's kind of like going to college. You're taking different classes in college. And here's the deal. If you didn't pass Calculus 1, you sure the heck aren't getting into Calculus 2, let alone Calculus 3. So you hit the staple easy button and you tap out and commit suicide in this lifetime. I got news for you. You're coming back. And you're going to repeat that entire scenario all over again. Not in this form and not with existing family, something different, but you're going to experience the same challenges because you signed up for the course and you're not going to pass the course.
Get to go to summer school.
Right?
Summer school.
I love that idea, but that's kind of what it's like, and so different people. In fact, of all the readings I've given, which have been a lot, out of all the readings I've given people, only 2 went from this lifetime directly into angel form. This was their last lifetime here, before they transitioned back into spirit. And were very, very old souls, and they had checked all the boxes, and now they get to do what their soul desire is to do. So, which is different for everybody, right? So it's just interesting,
Well, Jane always says she wants her little piece of property with all the fabulous colors and sounds and animals that talk to you and come up and visit. And
I love that.
So hopefully that's what she gets. And
I just want a tiny little log cabin with a wraparound porch, and give me all my past animals.
That sounds actually tranquil.
She might even let me visit. I don't know.
Oh, you might be allowed to pop in once in a while. Well, we're energy, so it's whatever you want to make it, right? So, but people do have responsibilities. A real quick little story here. I don't even know how we're doing on time, but I guess you're policing the time, so you'll tell me.
We're all right. Go ahead.
Okay, so I brought in this little boy for his mom. And he was terminally ill. This was several years ago. He was a little boy, terminally ill, so he knew he was going to pass. And I brought him in, and it was so stinking cute. But he goes, "Look at me! I have superpowers!" And he showed me how he could go from the ground and jump like 20 feet up into the tree on this big tree branch. And then he would turn into a squirrel. And he was running from tree branch to tree branch, jumping and leaping and running from tree branch to tree branch.
Wow.
I told the mother this. And that's when the mother said, well, he said that when he passes, he's going to come back as a squirrel so he can live in the trees in the backyard of his friends and be able to still play with them in their backyard. And he was going to go from tree to tree as a squirrel so he could check on his friends and play with them.
Wow.
And guess what he's doing? Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So beautiful. It's just so beautiful. So it's a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know me and Jane talk about, like the afterlife, if we get our cabin or whatever. So we want to ride dragons. We want to talk and ride with dragons.
I'm getting a dragon. Yeah.
Dragon. Oh my God, I've never heard of that one before, but I like the idea.
Mhm.
Can you order me up one? And they won't eat me first. But yeah, if you watched GOT, right? It's like, yeah, we all want a dragon now.
Yeah, we all want dragons.
Well, they've been in, the folklore forever and ever, and so they've been, the Chinese and Japanese and different cultures
Right.
have literally, it's, to them, it's very much real. So I don't know. I think that we're seeing a lot of crazy thing in our skies right now that people didn't think was real, but
Right.
you cannot throw out a million people's videos. And everybody has these amazing cell phones now that take really great video and photos. So the secret's out. The cat's out of the box.
Yep.
Right? Government's not going to keep lying to us, be able to lie to us and keep covering it up. It's coming out. It's out. So that's where, and that's why they're trying to take down TikTok, because the only place you're really seeing a lot of the evidence is on TikTok. Yep. And so that's, in my opinion, I think that's one of the main reasons why they're trying to take it down, is because they are trying to keep the lid on it. But the lid has done blowing off and shattered into 1,000 pieces. It's never going to be sealed again.
Yep, exactly.
But people should fear it. People really should not fear these beings, whether they're ET, aliens, interdimensional, call them what you want. If they wanted to harm us, they would have done it a long time ago. They're way older than we are.
And we wouldn't have been able to stop them anyway.
Right.
There was I don't know if your audience, or if you guys are familiar with the show Dead Files with Amy Allen.
Yeah.
So she's had a couple episodes. I think that season was on for 15 years or something, 15 seasons. And one of the episodes that kind of blew my socks off was these episodes that what's happening to them is being done by aliens. And this is what she says. And so the family is like, what do we do? Like, what are our options? And she goes, well, you can find a, support group, because basically that's all that's going to happen. You can't stop it. And here's the crazy thing. And I've actually done research on this, and I've seen a lot of different shows, and I've read different things about this, about how the aliens have supposedly genetically altered our DNA. And that's what they've been doing to the human body for millennia or whatever. Hence why we don't have a tree for our existence. It's more like a bush. It's like they came in and they did an experiment, and they tried this DNA combination, and yeah, we got that. Okay, yeah, that wasn't what we're going for. Then they try again to something else, and like, oh, damn. Yeah, giant. Yeah, that's not what we were going for. And so they keep trying all these things until they end up with us. But here's the deal. They're still coming back. And what Amy Allen was saying was, your father's been going through the same thing, which the dad confirmed, and his father, and his, and his. They have been basically monitoring certain families because of the genetic altering in it. So I know nothing on this for my own facts. This is just what I read up on, and Amy Allen literally talks about it in a couple of different episodes. So if that doesn't blow someone's mind, I don't know what will.
Wow. That's a lot to take in. Yeah.
Well, she said this one haunting, whatever they thought was going on. They didn't understand the weird shit's going on, personality changes, all this, lost time. So she met with this guy, this family, mom, dad, and son and daughter, I think it was. Anyways, the dad, in this particular episode, the father that's deceased, he was driving his tractor on the road between fields, and a friend following him in his pickup was joking around, just kind of tapped the back of the tractor. It was an older tractor, so it didn't have an enclosed cab. He fell off the seat, and his friend drove over and killed him.
Oh.
But Amy says, she was going on about these aliens and things. She goes, well, part of this, that's actually your dad. Your dad's actually here. He's trying to like protect you from the aliens. And they're all like, come again. So she began to explain the whole thing to him. And they said, yeah, actually, the aliens actually took your dad. And you've got a portal in your backyard on the ground, actually. And they took your dad, but he made such a stink. They literally spit him back out. And like, yeah, we don't want that one. That was way too much trouble. And so he's actually been spending all of his time trying to protect you from them.
Wow.
Watch the shows for yourself.
There you go.
Dead Files, The Dead Files with Amy Allen. And I don't know what season. They were in different seasons, I think, but there's some amazing programming out there. In fact, there's a lot of programming out there right now about all of this stuff we're talking about. So get plugged in.
Well, Susan, it's been an hour and a half, and we can keep going if you'd like, but I think this would be a good time to stop, and we can always have you back, and we'll get into some other subjects.
That sounds great. Did any of your followers have any questions?
We were bringing them up, or tried to, when we were talking, so we hit most of them as we were talking.
Well, if they have questions, tell them they can email me through my website, or DM me through any of the platforms.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead and give out your information again, where they can find you, what you got coming up, any new books, any new places you're going to, and then we'll just say bye to everybody and chat at the end.
Sounds lovely. So if anybody's interested, I have paperback, softcover, and hardcover books. You can get them everywhere. They're on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. They're on my website. I think you can even order them through Walmart. So if you're interested in the subject and want to learn more about whether or not you've got abilities and how to capture evidence yourself, that type of thing, that book is for you. You can find me at Crystal Peak Medium, crystalpeakmedium.com. And that's basically my handle on pretty much everything. So if you just Google Crystal Peak Medium on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you'll find me. And I try to put a lot of this kind of information for free out there to people so that they can know that they're not crazy and they're not alone. This stuff is really happening.
There you go. And for anybody that's came in new, to us, go ahead and like and subscribe and share this out, please. And you can also find us on Facebook, Rumble, Spotify. So find our Facebook group and join in on the fun. And because we always post our shows and videos there also. So thank you all for coming. We love you all. Great chat tonight. Everybody was doing great.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay, that's awesome.
And your links for being posted out. Thank you, mods, very much. You guys are the best mods.
And for anybody that is watching later and had missed the links during the live, we do have them all in the description for Susan's TikTok and Facebook and her website. So please go there if you want to follow up on with Susan and find her and her content. Look in our description. Having said that, we love you all, and we'll see you next time.
Keep your vibrations high.
Keep looking up.
Yeah, right. Perfect.